Welcome friends to Muskrat Links. Today we are back in the Muskrat Links simulator and we're going to be doing a bag mapping today. As you guys may or may not know, we've got a series coming up this winter where we'll be doing a bunch of simulator rounds every week on this big custom script sim tour that I've got cooked up for you guys. It's going to be a ton of fun, but today we want to do some bag mapping so we can prepare for that and so I can show you guys some of the features of the SkyTrak bag mapping. So without further ado, let's jump over and get it set up. If you guys are new around here, make sure to subscribe. We have been growing quite a bit lately and I'm really happy with how this channel is doing. We're posting tons of cool content that you cannot get anywhere else on YouTube. So if you enjoy unique, one-of-a-kind content specifically for golf, this is the place for you. I'm also wearing 2 microphones today because I'm doing some testing on my phone to see if that will record as well, because we've got some special guests coming over this weekend to do some Halloween spooky filming with us here for some specials. That content's gonna be coming your way over the next couple weeks. So I do hope you guys enjoy that. Let's go ahead and get this set up. The first thing we need to do on this bag mapping is make sure our bag looks good. Let's go get the clubs in there. To get started with the bag mapping here, we need to go over and see what clubs we have in our bag. So if you go to the top right here and click on your name, jump over to My Bag, and you'll see it's gonna start populating with some of the other bag mappings that we've done previously here on the SkyTrak. So it's got all this data in here already, which is great, but we've gone through some club changes, so I wanna go ahead and swap out some of those clubs right now so we can get our bag up to date. As you can see here, it's really simple. You can kind of just plug in any club you want. If we want to add a club, we can do that from this button here, and that's exactly what we want to do. So I need to add a new driver because that's what I got. So we're going to go ahead and jump in and add the Callaway Epic. Good enough for me. Add that in, and what we can do is we can go ahead and remove some of the other stuff that I'm not using anymore. So we'll take out that driver, we'll take out this driver. I don't use 2 drivers anymore, just the one. We got that. We are not using a 2-iron anymore. I actually have to add a 4-wood in here as well. So we'll go 4-wood, also a Callaway. What the heck is the name of this thing? Apparently it is the Steelhead XR. So that will work. Let's go ahead and add that guy in. Drag him up. Come on, 4-wood. There we go. Okay, so we've got driver, 4-wood, 9-wood, 4-iron through 9-iron. Then we've got our pitching wedge, 52 degree and 56 degree. Obviously we have the putter as well, and we have 1 open spot right now, which is exactly what my bag looks like. So our bag should be good to go. Once you have all the correct clubs in your bag, hop over to the game improvement side of things, go to the bag mapping, and it will load up here and show us what we've got to deal with. So if you're like me, you're probably going to want to set up a custom preset for what your bag actually looks like, and let's just go ahead and adjust that now. It's really simple to do on the fly. So I had it set to 13 clubs, again, not including putter, but we're going to go ahead and drop that down to 12 actually, because that's all we're going to be using today. So set that to 12 clubs. It automatically takes that one off, which is perfect. Let's swap the driver out, going into the custom bag section here to grab what we just made, the Callaway Epic. 9-wood is still there. 2-iron we're going to be swapping out for the Steelhead 4-wood. Actually, we can probably swap positions here, though it's not going to matter too much. So let's put the 4-wood in that slot, and let's put the 9-wood in this slot. Okay, so that is looking perfect. You can do lots of different things over here for what data points you want to collect. We're going to go nice and fast today, so we're just going to do 4 shots per club, and we'll take the best 3 shots. Nothing crazy, just because I want to show you guys some of the cool features of this. And we're definitely going to want to go more in depth if you really want to dig in and kind of get the nitty-gritty numbers out of here. You're going to want to go through and do several sessions in here over, a couple weeks, hit maybe a couple hundred shots with each club, honestly, and really get those numbers down. But for entertainment purposes and for informational purposes, today, this is what we're gonna go with. Let's save that preset so we've got it in the future, hit apply, and let's jump over to the range. I'll also apologize now, I do have a stuffy nose, so sorry about that, guys. I'm just getting over a little bit of a cold here, so you'll have to deal with it, but I don't think it's too bad. All right, so really the whole point of the bag mapping is to figure out how far your clubs are carrying. The total distance doesn't matter too much because that's all dependent on what range you use and what settings you have on here. So you really want those carry numbers down and to figure out, how tight a dispersion can you get with your club so you know what to expect when you hit it. Simple, right? So starting off here, we're gonna take the 56. We've got 4 shots. We'll take the best 3. Let's see how tight we can make this dispersion circle. Also today we will be using a Vice Pro Plus for all our bag mapping. Between when I last did a bag mapping and now, I've also swapped to the interlock grip, so I'm curious to see if that will have any effect on some of my numbers here. As far as the 56 goes, I'm expecting about, I think 96 yards out of this is usually what I average, with about maybe 10,500 backspin. Let's see how we do. Also playing a slight fade. Pretty consistent on the first two so far, definitely like that. Got to warm up a little bit here though, weren't the cleanest strikes on the market. All right, last one. Well, those guys ended up pretty tight. Definitely happy with that. Moving on up to the 52 degree. I'm also not gonna make you guys watch all these, so I'll cut you guys back in at maybe like the 8 iron or something like that. We'll do a long iron and then we'll do the driver. All right, as promised, I'll show you guys this 8 iron set and see how we do. All right, play that little butter fade just down the left-hand side here. Probably gonna get right around 150 with this is what I'm expecting. Total, so probably like 144 carry. Fading a little bit, 146 carry, 157, pretty much exactly as we described. I love that. First shot, nice. See if we can replicate that now. Little over fade on that one. Nothing to complain about. 142 carry, rolled that 151. Pretty perfect. Again, we're taking the best 3 out of 4 here, so it's gonna eliminate one of these. I don't know how it decides which one to eliminate. Probably like the worst dispersion circle addition, I would guess, is what it would eliminate, but we'll see. That one not fading quite as much, but still pretty good shot. Pulled a little bit, so it got a little bit more distance on it, as you would expect from a pull. All right, and here's our last 8. Cut across it, my bad. That's probably gonna be the one that's eliminated, although maybe it's close to the other ones, hard to say. All right, moving on up. I'll see you guys at the 4 iron. All right, up to the 4 iron. Things are going pretty well so far. Let's see if we can keep it dialed in. Expecting to start seeing some 200 plus balls here. Maybe like 185 carry rolling out to like 206, I think would be about right. Let's see. A little bit of fade on that one. Let's see what we get. 185 carry rolling out to 202, almost exactly like I called it. Well, I know my club, that's for sure. Let's see if we can do that one again, but keep it a little straighter this time. Yeah, off balance on that one, but maybe that's the one we don't take. Not a horrible shot, to be fair. Just a little bit to the right, that's okay. All right, let's refocus and put this one right down the pipe. Yeah, that's a good one. Heading right down the line there. 186 carry, rolled out to 206. Pretty much exactly like I said, so yeah, we got this 4 iron on lockdown. Let's do another one, let's copy paste that. Little bit, pretty good though, right down the line. 186 carry, 204, exactly like we drew up. All right, let's head on up to the woods and the big dogs. I'll see you guys up at the driver. We can take a look at a few of those and then we'll go over the data and talk about what you can do with it. Whew. All right, I am all warmed up now, guys. It is time for the driver. Let's see if we can put some of these down the middle and improve on some of our driver measurements that were previously in our bag with our old drivers. I think we can do better. Yeah, that's pretty good. It's about what I expect out of my driver right there. 250 carry, roll out to 278. I'll take that every day of the week. I pulled it a little bit, still had my classic fade on it though. Let's see if we can straighten that out. I don't mind the fade though, that can stay. Let's just straighten it out a little bit. A little off the heel there. It's coming back though. Definitely not the longest drive because it went off the heel, but again, not gonna complain about 265 down the middle. Let's square one up though. Again, pulled slightly, could be some alignments with the SkyTrak, could be me. 260 carry, rolling out to 286, that is perfect. All right, last one. We've got 3 good drives out there, so I'm just gonna swing out of my shoes just for kicks to see if we can pump this out to 300. Here we go. Oh, that is trekking. I hit the center of the club face, which is good, but I don't know if it's gonna get out there. 267 carry, 292, still a good result. I think that's the end of the bag mapping. Let's jump in there and see what we can do with the data. All right, and here is what we are presented with when we finish up our bag mapping. You get to see all your clubs plotted out, and obviously there's gonna be some pretty big gaps here because I only took 3 shots out of these clubs. But it does actually reflect the gaps I have in my bag right now. So as you can see, between 52 and pitching wedge, that's a 6-degree difference between these 2 clubs. My pitching wedge is a 46. And the difference between my 56 and a 52 is only 4 degrees. So I actually do have a bit of a gap between these 2 clubs. It is quite obvious right here, but it's not that bad in real life or in actuality. Again, same thing, difference between 9 wood and 4 wood. I didn't hit the 4 wood that great when I was trying up. The 4 wood's usually out here closer to that 225 mark, which is what we expect. But yeah, I popped a couple up with the 4 wood, so that's why that's dropped off here behind the 9. So you can use this screen to kind of easily tell the differences and the big gaps. It highlights them in red where you should be looking if it doesn't meet the gap tolerance, whatever you set it to. And then you can go through and look at all the individual clubs here. So you get your, again, big overhead map so you can see kind of what your average shot shape looks like. Again, for this session, it looks like I pulled everything to the left. Some of them faded, some of them didn't. That's kind of what we're dealing with here. And then we go club by club so you can see your little dispersion circles, our 56, 52, all the way up through till we get to the driver. I almost hit the screen with my driver, that's nice. So anyway, you get some of those data points here, but the important thing is looking through and seeing all this data as a whole, all of the numbers. In order to get the actual full data set out of here, which is ideally what you guys are gonna be interested in, you actually have to go back and go into your history to get the useful stuff. So if we jump in here to the history, we can see kind of everything we've done on the 3 different screens you can click from originally: practice, challenges, and game improvement. Obviously, we went into game improvement and did the bag mapping, so let's jump in there and see what we get. So there's our bag mapping from today. Let's go ahead and click that. And now we get the full data for all of these clubs. So this is what we're gonna wanna export to really get in and find out where we're going wrong, analyze your patterns, and see kind of what each club is doing for you and what it could be doing better. So let's go ahead and export this and see what we get. So we can export this, and now we have a choice between PDF and CSV. Obviously we want CSV for this so we can actually handle that data. You can put notes in here, which I don't exactly know what it does. I think it like appends it to the file title or something like that, or it's somewhere in the metadata for the file. Either way, let's go ahead and export that. And it also drops it into this C users, whatever your username is, app data, local low, SkyTrak, export folder, and here we go. Now we've got the data in a much more presentable format that is much easier to read and manipulate. So what I usually do for my data, once I get it in here, I clean it up a little bit. I take out some of the data points that I don't really want, like some of the data that the SkyTrak only estimates and doesn't actually measure, like club head data. You don't really need any of this because it's just a guess anyway. It's not going to be relevant to you. I mean, it can be a little bit helpful, but it's definitely not a data point you want to rely on for the SkyTrak. So you can take some of this data, go ahead and put it into like a Google Doc or some bigger spreadsheet or something like that. That way you can really dig in and find out what your clubs are doing. So that's pretty much it for the bag mapping. I did want to say one more thing though. When you collect this data, once you are done with it, it does kind of add on to what you already have in your bag. So as long as you're using the same club, it will just kind of total all of that data together. For example, my Vokey 56-degree wedge, I already had a bunch of data points in here from previous sessions that I did, and it's just added that data that I hit today into those sessions. Whereas something like the Callaway Epic, the new driver I just put in today, just has the data from this one session here. So you can kind of use that to your advantage and do sessions on different days over the course of a week and really get those repetitions in on all of your clubs, as long as you select those clubs from the initial screen when you're setting up your bag and setting up what clubs you want to use for your bag mapping. So I think that's really cool and helps you kind of get a good idea of what's actually going on in your bag. All right, that is going to be it for me, guys. I know this was a bit of a shorter video, but I'm still feeling a little bit under the weather here, and I need to recover and be on my A game for this weekend when my brother comes up and we film some awesome Halloween content here on Muskrat Links. Speaking of Muskrat Links, tell someone you know about this golf channel who would enjoy it. We are having a ton of fun out here. I hope you guys are too. I think that's gonna be it for me. Have fun out there, everyone.